Ooh, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel, and today we have, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, some changes in the background. Projector, a light in the background there is another light to the side, but we're moving on up, people. What can I say? But today I'm going to be talking about Friday the 13th, part 5, A New Beginning, released in 1985. Yes, as the title suggests, this was meant to be a new start or a reset for the franchise after, for the second time now, this series' main villain was definitively killed. So the question was, how do we continue this? What can we do? Jason Voorhees was killed by Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 4. So who can be the new killer now? Jason. Let's bring Jason back. Except it's not our Jason. It's not the typical Jason Voorhees. This is a copycat killer, ladies and gentlemen. We have a copycat running around with the Jason Voorhees shtick. And that didn't go over well with audiences back in 1985, to say the least. In my opinion, I find this movie entertaining. It's entertaining. I was never bored. I was never waiting for this movie to end. I was fully engaged from beginning to end. In this film, we are following Tommy Jarvis approximately 5 years after the events of Part 4, as he is a new member of this halfway house, or this youth rehabilitation center that is ran by Matthew Leonard, as well as his assistant, Pam Roberts. And these group of characters here, man, it's a lot. This movie, I'm gonna get into that later. It's a lot of characters that we have to follow, but they are somewhat unique in their own way. They are memorable. They do things to stand out. Now, the box office, on a $2.2 million budget, this film made $21.9 million overall in this entire box office run. And it also made $8 million in its opening weekend. It opened at #1 at the box office at the time of its release, and it was the 5th highest grossing film in the franchise at that time. So let's get into it. As far as what I liked about A New Beginning, I do like the angle with Tommy struggling with some psychological trauma here after the events of Part 4. Obviously, a kid being put in that position of killing somebody, there's obviously gonna leave a little trauma. And so this is a different thing here that I don't really see any of the other films tackle, really. But here it's a continuation of Tommy Jarvis's story, and you know, him just going through these episodes of trying to just snuff out that memory of that fateful night. It's interesting. It's a cool idea introduced here, and it gives another layer to the Tommy Jarvis character. And to piggyback on what I was saying in the intro about the characters here, there are some that stand out to me, particularly Ethel and Reggie. Ethel is a foul-mouthed, backwoods, country, almost redneckish type of woman. And she has the mouth of a sailor, and she is just, her line delivery here, man, some of the best lines in this franchise, in my opinion. You're just entertained. You're just entertained by her just antics here. And then you have Reggie. He stands out too. You know, his charm and, you know, just being a kid, again, put in the Tommy Jarvis situation. He's just a kid. He's just doing his thing. I kind of relate to the character a little bit, not for the obvious. His chemistry with his older brother, Demon, played by Miguel A. Nunez Jr., ladies and gentlemen. That back and forth and him trying to impress his older bro by introducing his girl in Pam after Demon introduces Reggie to his girl, Anita. Reggie, Ethel, there's several other characters. I would be here all day talking about the other ones that kind of stand out to me, but those two, they stand out pretty well. But this movie not having the actual Jason Voorhees, the body count in this one is tremendously large. This has to have the second highest or the third highest in the franchise, if I'm not mistaken. If you come to these movies for the kills, this one delivers, because there's a lot of them. And sticking with the kills, there are some potentially all-timers and ones that stand out. The one that stands out to me particularly has to be the Garden Shears kill. You also have the meat cleaver kill with both Ethel and her son, Junior. Junior gets it first. He's on his bike screaming because Tommy Jarvis beat his ass. He's riding around, and then all of a sudden, meat cleaver out of nowhere. Bam! Takes his head off, and Ethel's like,
"About time, you fuckwad."
Meat cleaver through the window where she is in the kitchen and to the face. As far as what I'm on the fence about A New Beginning, even though the twist reveal is bold, it's a bold thing to do. They had to do it. How else would they do this movie? I feel like it could have worked with a better build or a better story, if you will, but it ultimately doesn't go anywhere. And, you know, you don't really feel anything. You don't feel it. It doesn't hit you as hard as they thought it would hit audiences. It just left audiences more puzzled than emotionally just hit. Instead of, oh wow, it's more of a what? Tommy Jarvis in this movie, while John Shepard's performance is decent, he really doesn't do anything except being a red herring in this entire movie. It's like, well, Tommy is experiencing all these hallucinations about Jason. Is he potentially going down a dark path and potentially becoming the next Jason Voorhees? All he does is just look serious, very stoic, quiet, attacks people when he's provoked. He beats the living crap out the guy at breakfast. And then, like I mentioned, he beat Junior's ass. And then when it's time in the third act to face Jason, he just stands there. Tommy just stands there in shock, while Roy takes the machete and slices him across his chest. And it's like, you're not really fighting back, Tommy. But Tommy does help chip in the end when he takes the machete and takes Roy's hand off, and Roy falls, and then you get the reveal. But other than that, he's just a red herring. He's just here to get the audience to assume like, oh, maybe it's Tommy. It's not Tommy. Nice try, but no. And I touched on this earlier, but this movie has way too many characters. It's like, who is she? What is this random dude walking around in the woods for? Who is he? It's too many people that you have to keep in the back of your mind. You know, you just lose track of who's important and who is not. This movie has a sleazy kind of feel to it. It's a lot of nudity. You see everything, man. And that's ironic because the director of this film, Danny Steinman, he comes from the world of adult entertainment. This one feels that way. It's just very out there. So don't watch this movie with parents. As far as what I didn't like about A New Beginning, the tone imbalance here, it's just very jarring and noticeable. It is all over the place. It goes from one cartoonish thing to a character getting killed and to another lighthearted thing. It just bounces. It just feels inconsistent. The tone feels very inconsistent to me in this one whenever I come back and rewatch. Even though I said the decision to have Roy as the killer was bold, the twist was bold, it is predictable as hell. Very predictable. This twist, this killer reveal, you can call it a mile away. You can smell it. As soon as Joey, a character in this film, is murdered by Vic, those two are parts of the halfway house, and you see Roy Burns, the paramedic, arrive on scene, and Joey's already under the sheet, and so they pull the sheet off the body, and you see that reaction, that look of shock and just like sadness in Roy's eyes, that facial expression. He looks into the camera, and you get that sound cue, like him looking menacing in the camera. That's the killer. That's him. And on top of that, the motivations of Roy to kill everybody in that halfway house, kill everybody there, except Vic, the man or the boy that killed his son. Sir, you could have went to the jail cell. You probably had the credentials to talk your way into there and take revenge on the guy that actually did the murder, but didn't even kill Vic. You just went on a rampage at Pinehurst and just laid waste to everybody there. It feels undercooked. It feels undercooked. They didn't think it through all the way. And another thing, how was Roy doing Jason's thing? Does the mask give him the power of Jason to toss bodies through the window and break through a door? This reveal, Roy's motivation, doesn't work for me. The male version of Pamela Voorhees, that's what this is. And it does not have the same weight as Pamela taking revenge on all the counselors when Jason drowned at all. It doesn't have that same weight. This is a thrown together mess to give a movie its story and its villain. That's what this is here for. So my opinion, I don't like the Roy Burns character or his motivation. I think it sucks, and that's just me. And finally, the ending to this film to kind of hint at where the franchise is going to go with Tommy in the hospital. Well, first off, Pam hears something in Tommy's hospital room, and she hears the window break, and she walks in there, and she doesn't see Tommy in the bed. She walks a little further in the room, and then behind her, the door closes, and she doesn't notice, but Tommy's there, and he has the mask on, and he has a chef's knife, and it looks like, oh, he's gonna be the next Jason Voorhees. Get that out of here. I'm so glad they retconned that in part 6, because it would not have worked. It's funny with him having the mask on and him trying to look all, the eyes look serious. It's like, dude, you've been having all these hallucinations of Jason, but you ain't Jason. And that is it, guys. Those are my thoughts and opinions about Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Tell me what you think about this film down below in the comment section. Let me know where this one is in your ranking, or what you really think about it. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I'm trying to finish this franchise as soon as possible. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Check me out when I do Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. And until next time, guys, I'm Bran. Thanks for watching. Peace.